How's it going, YouTube? Welcome back to another video. This is the interview that I was going to go ahead and do with my buddy Jose. How you doing, Jose?
How you doing, bro?
Chilling. Alright, so right here we have his 97 Del Sol alongside the BMW Z3. We kind of just took the day, to kind of take a little bit of a chill break from whatever we're doing from our busy lives, our schedules and everything. And he went ahead and joined us for an interview today. So we're going to go ahead and break down what his history with the car build is for the Del Sol, and he's going to go ahead and just be telling us a little bit about himself and what he's up to currently with the car, So it's little moments like this, guys, that really I enjoy being a car enthusiast, you know what I mean? Just kind of like chilling, enjoying the day. It's a beautiful day today at this lake, and we kind of just want to take a moment to do this little interview for you guys on the channel. So how are you doing today, Jose? How old are you, brother? I'm going to tell a little bit of an intro for the channel as far as like who you are, what your build is, and how old you are.
Yeah. I'm Jose. We've been friends for a long time. Met in like what, fifth grade? Fifth grade around there. Fourth or fifth grade, something like that. I'm 23 years old. This is my Del Sol, and currently right now I'm working at Round Table. Cool. Making pizzas all day, cutting pizzas.
There you go.
And this is my project car I work on the weekends. It's a 97 Del Sol, and but you can see it's got a 95 or pre-97 bumper on it. The previous owner did that with the circle headlights.
Right on, brother, right on. So kind of why did you go ahead and choose the Del Sol, bro? Like I know that you've had other cars in the past, when you were in high school and whatnot, but what kind of made you want to go with the Del Sol for your car?
So basically my first car was a Honda. My parents got it for me. It was a 2004 Honda Civic Coupe. It was an automatic. It had 20,000 miles on it when I first got it, and it was a little bit of a rust bucket. But I don't know, ever since then I've really been attached to Hondas, and basically a few years after I got rid of it, I want to say like 2 years after I got rid of it, I was like wanting to get into cars, and I was like, well, I want something with 2 doors like my Civic, and I wanted to learn manual, so I got this thing. And I also wanted just a small little fun car to take on the weekend.
Right on, bro, right on. That's awesome, cool information as far as like how you got your car and like how it all came to be, So is there any particular reason why you kind of chose the JDM route, or what inspired you to kind of be a car enthusiast and focus mainly on JDM cars? I know a lot of people that have their own niche as far as like maybe they're like muscle cars, they're like SRTs, or even European cars or whatnot, but you went ahead and chose the JDM route. Is there any particular reason why the JDM route kind of called your attention?
Yeah, so the reason I chose a Japanese car was just like from hearing from basically everybody that, they're reliable, they can last a long time, and that little Civic I had, man, that thing was freaking reliable for having as many miles as it did. Once I got rid of it, it had like, I want to say like 370,000 miles on it, dude. Like
definitely up there.
And had the only issue it gave me was like a dirty O2 sensor. I didn't even have to replace it or nothing like that. So yeah, I spent a lot of time with that car. I delivery drove with that thing, and coincidentally enough, since I would drive around town all the time, I saw a Del Sol parked. I don't think it runs. I don't think it ran. I've never seen it move from that spot, but I saw it like in someone's front yard, and I'm like, what the heck is that? Like a Honda, and it has like 2 doors or 2 seats, and I was like, dude, what is that car? And so I got a little closer to it, and I was like, Del Sol, that's pretty cool. I mean, this is a poverty spec build, bro. we ain't got the money for that.
There you go, guys. Poverty spec build. Sometimes that's the way to go, tough economy and whatnot.
Exactly.
You can always find good deals on Marketplace as well.
Exactly.
It just depends. But I mean, if this goes with it, this goes with it. I just honestly thought that they were, the actual wheels, because the quality on it, it looks like it's pretty good.
Yeah, they are quality wheels. The guy I got them from, he still had them in like the box.
Right on.
So, I mean, they were all new. This, I think it was this one. I mean, it's a little dirty now. This was like 2 years ago, but this one wasn't even wrapped in a tire. Like they were like brand new wheels. As you can see, there's not like a whole lot of curb rush.
There you go. Yeah, no, it looks pretty mint too. Yeah. And then here's also that Yonaka the exhaust that he was talking about earlier.
I had to throw in the quintessential license plate holder for
Yep,
that thing, man. You know,
in case you didn't know, now you know.
in case you didn't know.
In the words of Biggie Smalls.
And yeah, wow, you got a little dirty on the drive here, huh?
Yes, sir.
Not
too bad.
Yeah, but you know, one thing I didn't cheap out on completely was the coilovers. I think I said earlier I threw function and form type 2s on this thing. They ran me like $1,200. I didn't get no max speeding rods, nothing like that, because I heard those are very unreliable.
Yeah. Not the smoothest ride quality.
Not the smoothest ride quality. I mean, I didn't get no like BC Racing, nothing like that. But I mean, they have done the job pretty well. Not gonna lie.
For sure. I also noticed that you're rocking with drilled and slotted brake rotors.
Yeah, I did throw those on.
Awesome. They look really good. They complement the look of the wheels as well.
Right.
I'll tell you that. Yeah, they perform well too. I'd imagine it helps with cooling.
Yeah, helps with cooling. Prevents a little bit of brake fade. I mean, I'm not like thrashing this thing around every single day, but you know, I've noticed a difference. These came with the back ones did have, or this already came with slotted rotors, like from the guy I bought it with. The back ones were on there, but I threw the front ones on after I broke my stupid rotor.
Right on. Let's see what's under the hood, man.
Yeah, so these are the headers. I got them off Marketplace as well. I met a really cool guy. His name's Jarek. I don't know if I can say that, but his name was Jarek. He also pulled up in a Del Sol, which was pretty cool. And I threw a test pipe on there as well. Shout out to Jarek, bro. He was a really cool guy.
Our boy Jose over here is not gatekeeping, so there you go.
Exactly. And I went ahead and I actually did this like last week. I went ahead and rerouted the overflow tank right here.
Oh, okay, right.
And I got a new radiator, and I threw this intake on here, but not secure, you know.
You can play a little bit of a note right now.
Yeah. Play a little bit of music for me.
Oh.
It was this one.
There you go.
It was that one.
It's finely tuned. That's not what we had in mind when you're talking about a tuned car, but it's tuned as well, you know.
Finely tuned, bro. Yeah, and I also threw out the dusty ass power steering. You know, these Honda pumps apparently are known to fail, and you know, I wanted to save a little bit of weight, so that's all gone, and as well as the windshield washer fluid. And you know, it handles a whole lot better with the manual rack. Not gonna lie, I didn't do a loop or nothing like that. I got a manual steering rack on this, and took me like a week to get the right parts, bro, because I didn't know on these on this year Honda, because this is a 97, like I said.
Right on.
And but with the 95 bumper, or the pre-97 bumper, whatever. And so the what's it called? The steering knuckle, I think it's called the steering knuckle, that attaches the wheel to the rack was way too big, and it didn't fit, and I didn't know that before like 95 or 90. It was some year that they like changed them, so it wasn't an instant like bolt up right away, you know, ready to go kind of thing.
Yeah.
So that was kind of hard to find. I went ahead and got one from the junkyard from like a 94 Civic.
That's honestly sometimes the best way to go, to be honest, you know, just junkyard right there. Save some money and still get your build going, you know?
Exactly.
Cheap out when you can cheap out, and don't cheap out when it's not recommendable to. You know?
Yeah, like you don't want to cheap out on like suspension stuff. I feel like that's the thing that takes like the most beating. But I mean, yeah, I did cheap out on the intake system. Yeah, it's carb legal, but I mean, I got it off Marketplace as well for like $100.
There you go. You would not want to get state ref for sure.
Yeah, you don't want to get state ref. I mean, these all get state ref for probably, but I mean,
they don't gotta know.
They don't gotta know.
All right, what about the interior, brother? What can you tell us about the interior? I see that it's mostly stock, but it's really mint as well.
Oh, thank you, bro. Yeah, when I bought this car, the interior was pretty complete. I didn't have to really do much to it, but the only thing I did do was really put in these seat covers from, I believe, eBay.
Right on.
And they were pretty cheap. I also threw in some, I don't know if you can see, some pedals, like, I think they're like supposed to be like Mugen or something like that, but obviously it's not real Mugen.
Yeah.
And I threw in like a Mugen shift knob just for the funnies.
It matches at least.
Yeah, it matches.
Matches.
But yeah, this is pretty much the interior. The steering wheel is not straight right now because the alignment guy, I guess, didn't align it right. I don't know. After I had to throw the rack in, he did the alignment, and then the steering wheel ended up not being straight. So I'm gonna have to take a look at that. Probably just take the wheel out and just straighten it out, but I'm not really sure.
Something along those lines. And then you also have an aftermarket stereo as well, right?
Yeah.
For the interior.
Yep. I believe I got that one from. I believe I got it from Walmart. Walmart or Amazon,
cool.
one of those two. And yeah, it was pretty easy to wire up. Just I didn't even have to wire it up actually. Just pretty much plug and play, and it works fine. I was gonna throw an amp in here, but I'm not really, wiring isn't really my strong suit.
Yeah,
so,
it's not your forte.
Yeah, so when so maybe down the line I'll eventually do that, just so the music sounds a little bit better. I also threw in some speakers. But yeah, that's pretty much the interior as far as I can remember.
And what can you tell us about the paint? You mentioned that it used to be previously a green color, right?
Yeah, it was green.
Okay.
What's it called? So the previous owner had it. I know he had to have repainted it because it did come originally green, as you can see from the engine bay, it's green. But I believe the previous owner resprayed it or something, because when I first got this car, it was the runniest, the haziest paint ever. And I mean, this paint isn't like SEMA status, but I mean, it looks a lot better than
what it was.
Believe it or not. The hardest thing to do was this hood, man. Like he just sprayed on like the most amount of clear coat I've ever seen in my life, to where this hood could look like white. Like it was bad, man.
Yeah.
And that was pretty hard to sand down. It took me a while. And but yeah, I basically got I used my friend's air compressor, got a $20 spray gun from Harbor Freight, and bought some paint off Amazon. It's single stage paint, so there's no clear coat. It's mixed in, I guess. And I just sprayed it on. Well, after all the prep, of course, that took like months and months and months.
Yeah.
But yeah, sprayed it on, and it's held up okay. Doesn't look the best, but this is my first paint job. I've also like indulged in spraying like other parts of my other cars, and it's been a learning process for sure.
But also, that's the basic rundown on the car, and kind of going in depth as far as like what you've done and how much this car has taught you. So what would you say is like the biggest thing, the takeaway that this car has taught you? You know what I mean? Like wrenching on your car, there's always good points, low points, and obviously the bad points, you know what I mean? That goes along with being a car enthusiast. So what would you say is like the biggest takeaway from this car?
It's really taught me that like mechanic stuff it seems scary at first, but you just really gotta put yourself in there and get wrenching on whatever you want to do to it. Like obviously I didn't just throw these mods on because like before, like fixing the oil leaks and all this garbage, but like all like the boring stuff basically to get it running okay.
A little tune-up?
Yeah, a little tune-up. Yeah, basically before, this is my first car that I've like done anything to. Like I've worked on myself before. Like I was telling you earlier, I had my like brother or my dad work on my other cars. Like I had a 2009 Accord, and my brother would always help me out with problems that it had, because I was a delivery driver for 2 years, and puts a lot of wear and tear on the cars, and I was too scared to do it myself, and basically I had my dad and my brother fix it for me. And once it got to this car, I'm like, you know what, it's an old car, it's a $3,000 car, it doesn't matter if I break something, it's not that serious, it's a Honda, parts are super uber cheap. So yeah, that's basically been my learner thing. Yeah, a
lot of experience that's come along with it.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, I forgot about the wing. That is an eBay wing.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I also put that on. It was like $40. I drilled some holes in the back. I was a little scared at first to drill holes into it.
Yeah.
And of course I covered it with paint to keep the rust away. But I mean, it's held on pretty well. But yeah,
It also adds like a nice amount of flair and look to the car. You know what I mean, bro? It looks pretty solid in my opinion.
I think so too.
Fits the look. Yeah.
This is supposed to be like a wing from like an Integra Type R.
Oh, okay. I thought it was an OEM wing for the Del Sol, but I wasn't sure if they actually did come with it.
No, they
OEM.
didn't. The wing they did come with is a lot smaller, a lot lower.
Yeah.
And I wasn't really a big fan of it. This car had no wing to begin with.
Yeah.
But, I was like, I kind of want a wing, just to add a little bit of character to this car.
I think that was a very tasteful choice that you included this wing. To be honest.
Yeah, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't want to throw on no big old like ginormous like wing, like Fast and Furious style wing.
Oh yeah.
So I think this, it looks pretty stock. It looks pretty stock for the car.
Most definitely.
I think it matches it. But yeah, that's basically
a rundown of the build.
Basically a rundown on the build. Just trying to keep it reliable.
Keep it reliable and keep it real. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
What good is it if you can't drive your car on a day-to-day basis?
Yeah.
Thank you for also kind of just giving us a breakdown of your car, a little bit look into your backstory with the car and everything, bro. I do realize that it's a struggle being a car enthusiast here and there, because there's a lot of difficulties that we have to overcome as car enthusiasts and everything. I know that you've had your share of stories with the car and everything that you've had to kind of overcome for you to get to this point where you are in your life. You want to go ahead and tell us about like the difficulties that you've had to overcome in your journey as a car enthusiast?
Yeah, so like I said earlier, I was a delivery driver for 2 years, and I had this Corolla, and this was before I got into cars. I had this Corolla, and I got hit and I rolled over like 4 times. That's what the police report said, or at least that's what they told me. I'm not really sure, but yeah, miraculously enough, I came out unscathed. The other person was okay as well. And after that experience, I was just like, man, I could have died. Mm-hmm. I could have died. And I was like, man, well, I should be appreciative of what I have and live life to the fullest, because before I did want to get into cars, but a part of me was a little scared, because I didn't know where to start really. And this Corolla I had was like, it's a daily driver, it's reliable, but I wanted something with a little bit more character. I didn't really identify heavily with the 09 Corolla, and then I got the Accord after that, but I didn't really identify with that car, and I wanted to really get something that represents my personality, basically. And that's also why I colored it purple. I really like the color purple, and I wanted to put myself out there a little bit more, boost my confidence a little bit. I'm sure you can relate as well, right? Yeah, definitely. A lot of I think the car that we drive says a lot about ourselves. It's like an extension of our personality, and it's also a reflection of who we are and what we think. It's a good example is manifestation. You know what I mean? The vision that you hold in your mind for the car that you drive, and the way that you build it, it's a reflection of what you have premeditated in your mind, and you just kind of reflect that onto the physical reality, with a freaking the car, as a physical manifestation of what you have in your thoughts. Mm-hmm. But yeah, that's a good way to put it. I really like that. for sure. So kind of to end off this video, bro, I know that like when we started the video it was like daytime and everything, and it's still daytime, but as time has progressed, now that we're in the shade, and before like the sun wasn't as up as it was, but yeah, anyway, to kind of end off this video, what would you say would be your advice to a car enthusiast out there watching this video that maybe aspires to have a Del Sol, or maybe aspires to own a BMW, or whatever car they may have in mind? What advice could you give to that person watching this video? I would say the hardest part about getting into cars is starting it. I mean, that's with any hobby really. Like just start. Just go on that marketplace, find that old car that you really like. Just watch a bunch of videos on it and try to get yourself involved with the community, because it's a really great community to be in. Like the car community is really really accepting of anyone. And just get into it. Start wrenching on your cars. and you know, show off your personality and just connect with other people.
You gotta earn your stripes, you know what I mean, bro? Like you gotta like kind of work for what you want. I know that there's a sacrifice to everything, you know. Of course, it's a good analogy for life as well, you know what I mean? If you want to go ahead and achieve something in life, you gotta have to put the sacrifice in it as well, you know.
Exactly.
So it's just kind of a give and take. Life can't always be all sunshine and rainbows. Likewise with the car build, you know what I mean? There's gonna be times where you get that check engine light. There's gonna be times where your car is not gonna be able to pass smog.
Yeah.
There's gonna be times where you get a flat tire and like, you know, that ruins the whole day.
Yeah.
Potentially, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it could be something super simple like a disconnected battery terminal that, you know, isn't plugged in right because it's loose, or it could be something as serious as the engine blowing. Ask me how I know, because that happened last year to me with the Mercedes that I have.
Really?
Yeah, I actually had to pay out of pocket like 3K to put in the new motor and then another 1K on top to transport it to where it needed to get the work done.
It was $1,000 for the tow?
Yeah, $1,000. It was from San Jose to Rancho Cordova. So, I mean, that's neither here nor there. But
Yeah.
to give the viewer an example, you know, there's always some kind of sacrifice that goes into being a car enthusiast. Thankfully, to kind of like end off that story, the Mercedes has not given me any issues since I, you know, did that work last year and dropped in a new motor. Which also kind of goes into it, you know, enjoying your car. There's always lore to it, you know, there's always more stories to tell with your car. And I feel like that's also another thing that adds on to being a car enthusiast, you know, what makes it super satisfying at the end of the day. When you're enjoying the car, you're on the road, and you just have this vision in your mind of how your car is going to relax you, you know, your vision is going to manifest in due time. To kind of close off this video, guys, thank you guys for watching. Thank you, bro Jose, to
Thank you for having me, dude.
Of course, it's a pleasure having you here on the channel, you know, kind of sharing your car and everything, sharing about yourself, and hopefully we get to see you back on the channel soon. I know that you also have other projects coming up, like a Porsche that you mentioned to me earlier.
Yeah.
So hopefully we get to see that on the channel soon, or whenever you get a chance, you know.
Anytime you would like to have me, bro, I'm happy to be here. It's been a pleasure. Absolutely.
Awesome. Thank you very much. I'll go ahead and link down his Instagram down below, and you guys can go ahead and give him a follow, or, you know, text him about anything car related to the Del Sol. If you guys have any questions, thank you guys for watching. It's your boy No Limit Angel, back at it again, and thank you guys. Until next time.
Until next time.